Today, I'm going to be breaking down exactly everything that I did, absolutely everything, the entire system that scaled my client, Ryan, from 36,000 all the way to 82,000 cash collected in a single month. I'm not holding anything back today for a single reason. And it's because scaling an info offer isn't just about getting more leads. It's actually about having the right systems in place and having a step-by-step process to scaling. So whether you're an info operator or you're an online coach yourself, make sure to keep watching till the end of this video, because not only did I take a ton of time making this video, you're also going to get tons of value just by learning from what I actually did. And also, if you want to learn how I can implement some of these systems and processes to your own coaching offer, then the first link is down in the description, and then we can have a chat there. But anyways, let's get into it. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background around Ryan and his situation. So he started off with a super small Instagram audience of less than 3,000 followers when we first started. He relied on the VSL funnel. So we ran cold traffic to a VSL and then directly to a closer's calendar. And also we relied on Instagram funnel, which is just posting on Instagram and getting leads that way organically, right? No paid ads. He had a 2-man sales team, 1 DM setter, and 1 closer. And I want to show you guys some results. So as of June, we did a record month of 62K, basically 63K. And then for July, we did 82K. And we started out basically working together from end of May or of June, basically. And I want to show you guys what we did in August too, just to show you guys some more proof.
Oh. I mean, that's a pretty...
No, we ended up at like 81.5 total last month.
Okay. So we ended up at 81.5K as of August, and I'm going to show you guys a timeline. Okay, so that's just some results so that you guys know I'm not just some random guy on the internet showing you some screenshots. So let's go into some other case studies I want to show you guys. We did Zach, we helped him get to 28K in 30 days. Joe, we helped him hit 100K in 30 days organically with his organic audience, and also Luke with his organic audience, we hit 120K. Now, as of the timeline of scaling, we started at the end of May and he hit 36K. As of June, as you saw from the screenshots, we did 63K cash collected. As of July, we did 82K. And then as of August, we stayed at around 80K, right? 81K. Okay, now we're going to cover over the basic principles of a growth circuit ecosystem where we take your offer and scale it. And there's a couple of steps here that we need to be clear on. So the first step here is your offer and your ICP. Like, what is your pricing? What is actually the main offer that we're helping other people? Is it an actually good offer? Is it a irresistible offer that people would just say stupid saying no to? And are we clear on your ICP and your audience? And the reason you want to know exactly who your ICP or ideal client profile is because if you shout your offer and you're selling to everyone, then you're really selling to no one, right? It doesn't resonate with anyone. So if you're creating content and you're creating ads that speak to one specific person, then that is when you can charge a lot of money for it. So that's number one. Number two is just attracting the right type of people, attracting attention and eyeballs to your offer, right? Without leads, you cannot sell anything. Next step here is nurturing that attention. So once you have those eyeballs and attention, you want to know, okay, how do you actually create middle of funnel content and case studies and bottom of funnel content to actually nurture those leads so that we can turn them from cold to warm to hot, right? And in order to do that, we need long form sales assets and trust assets so that the people, they can know, like, and trust you more. Next step is actually converting that attention. So with a solid setting process, for example, we can convert those from the DMs all the way to a booked call or even from ads, right? Having a solid sales process and a booking link and everything there, a calendar page, a VSL funnel, we can convert those leads into booked appointments. Next step from there is closing and actually the tracking part. Okay, we want to make sure your closing skills are on point, right, to your offer. And to your ICP. And I've been on many offers. I've been in high ticket sales rep, a setter, closer, manager, and now growth operator. I've talked to a lot of leads and a lot of different type of leads as well. So, and you have to treat everyone differently. And also tracking is so important when you're talking about scaling, because as you guys know, like without numbers and without statistics and numbers, it's very hard to scale, right? You don't know the details. And also, especially with ads, you don't want to scale ads when you don't know what your numbers are, because now you're basically scaling with fear, right? Instead of confidence. Last one here is just delivering. So making sure you have a solid foundation. That's really important for your offer to actually grow, or else it will just crumble, and I wouldn't work with you. So where was Ryan before and also after he started working with us? Before it all began, Ryan, he didn't have much of an organic presence, as I told you guys. He had about 2,800 followers on Instagram. This is his onboarding form. And Ryan, and yeah, with this amount of followers, it's very tough, right, to grow with his ecosystem. But he was posting a lot of content on Instagram, but we were just not getting traffic. All right, we were just relying on the algorithm, and I'm going to show you guys how we solved it for Ryan. Ryan, he's also actively running a 7-figure window cleaning business by himself. So not only is he good at what he does, his time is also limited. Okay, so he doesn't have a lot of time building the right systems, building the right processes for his sales teams and the funnels. And yeah, as you guys can see, he was at 36,000 before working with me. He had one part-time setter, one closer. His close rate was low, and he didn't have a 10 out of 10 sales process in place, right? That's whether it's funnels, his GHL, his CRM. As you can see, this is what I asked him. What specific part of your business do you want us to prioritize? He said sales process, how to only get qualified leads to show up, and also follow-up systems, right? This is exactly what he needed help with, and that's why he reached out to me. So we were, in the beginning, we were just relying on VSL ads, right? So he was posting a bunch of really, valuable content on his Instagram, but it was a waste, right? Because no one was actually seeing it. So no ads were being run to his Instagram, which already had a strong content ecosystem. So we're wasting all that time, all that energy on content and relying on an algorithm that you don't really know is going to work for you, because it's very unpredictable, right? When you are relying on organic to grow a coaching offer. So we were just relying on VSL ads. Now, all in all, what does this mean? He was relying on organic IG and the algorithm gods to, give him like a miracle. Second was his low close rates, low show rates. He was at like 30 something percent. Show rates were at like 40 to 50%. And because of his part-time DM setter, he was answering the DMs himself. He had no phone setters either. And then he also had low intent leads. So people coming on the calls from straight cold ads were very cold. They weren't being nurtured. They didn't have any solid sales assets from when they booked a call to the actual sales call, right? They're missing all these emails and texts here. Weak sales process. Yep, I covered that. And then they didn't have any sales systems. So what I mean by sales systems, like tracking, right? KPI trackings, and also the CRM to make sure that none of the leads are being, we're not leaking any money throughout the whole sales process. We want to make sure that we have a solid sales system and your sales team, where they're communicating with each other to make sure that we can actually work as a team to grow. So he was stuck at 30K per month without the right sales team and the right systems to scale. Now, what happened after working with us? Okay, we did 82K cash collected per month. 82K per month cash collected. And what did we do? We did a done for you sales process and systems. And basically what we did is we tracked every single lead to make sure that we're not losing any money on the table. We did done for you sales SOPs and also systems done for his GHL CRM system. And so that he didn't have to set anything up himself, right? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of back end work that's needed to be done. So we did all of that. We've taken all of that, we just taken care of that for him. Second thing is we started attracting higher intent leads too, right? By shifting his content to content that was more geared towards his ICP, which was people who are making 5K, to 20K in their businesses. But before, his content was just attracting really 0 to 10K broke leads, right? So we started trying to attract higher quality business owners and prospects who don't need convincing or begging, right? Because at 0 to 10K, really those people are just broke, and yeah, they're not looking to pay you thousands of dollars. However, for people who are financially qualified, they want a solution. Okay, so we geared his content towards those type of business owners. Third thing here is we started booking 1 to 3 calls per day consistently on Instagram. And before, he was just booking like 0 or even 1 maybe per day if he was lucky. So we started running simple Instagram ads to his profile. Okay, so these are super simple Instagram ads, right? Like 7 to 20 second either video ads or story ads, so that we could let his content ecosystem do most of the nurturing and most of the pre-selling, right? This gave us an overall ROAS, return on ad spend, of 10x. in terms of his sales assets, what we did was we basically turned his sales calls into onboarding calls so that his closer didn't need to hard sell anymore. He didn't need to convince people anymore. Instead of convincing, he started choosing people who to work with. And instead, the leads are already pre-sold from the sales process. Now, next thing is we implemented an A-player setter. So we implemented this A-player appointment setter to start booking consistent, as I said, 1 to 3 appointments from his Instagram. Instead of him, he himself, because of his part-time setter, he had to go into the DMs himself and actually start talking with all these leads. So we really just freed up a lot of his time so that he can work on, coaching and doing what he does best. We also stopped relying on the Instagram algorithm to, get eyeballs, and we started running highly profitable Instagram ads. This was after his 82K month that we hit. Okay, so we flooded his whole ecosystem and CRM with inbound qualified leads from his Instagram ads, ready to work with Ryan, so that he really never worried about where his next client was coming from. Now, overall results, we started spending around 11K. I can show you guys right now, as you guys can see. Yeah, so 11.2K spent. 11.2K spent, 81K cash collected. So this was from both the Instagram funnel and the VSL funnel, by the way. Okay, so Ryan was able to remove himself from the whole sales process and the whole systems and all the back end stuff, and actually work on the business and start coaching clients and getting them results, right? And yeah, he was just scaling stress free, and he was actually enjoying the journey of coaching and serving other people. And that's really what it's all about when you're working with someone like me. Like, I want you to do what you do best, right? Do your own thing. Well, I just take care of your whole offer and the back end and all the work. Okay. So I want to show you guys, what did we actually do though? Like, in terms of the steps that we took. So Ryan, he used our elite growth circuit system. These are for people who are above like 30K or above like 20K, right? These are like my ideal clients that I work with, and I scale them to 100K easily, right? Just by fixing sales process, sales systems. So we helped them with we did a done for you sales systems and processes. We did done for you sales team management, sales assets. We helped them with content that actually converts, and we helped them scale with ads. That's the last step. Okay. So these are KPIs, funnels, SOPs, CRMs, and all the trackers in terms of sales systems, and then setters for his team management, sales trust assets, and VSLs. What I mean by trust assets are long form content on YouTube. So a couple of videos just to nurture people from the sales process, and like a VSL. Content that converts. So his whole sales process, and also scripts, setting scripts, for example, for his DM setters. And then lastly, we just scaled him with ads. So I made him creatives, and also we did some media buying for him and for his team. Now, let's go into a little bit more detail. So in terms of the done for you sales system, what we're going to do is basically we optimize the CRM, okay? Whether you use Close or whether you use a GHL, right? What I did was we just make sure that it is optimized, right, for your setters to dial, because you guys, if you haven't been in the trenches, I have been in the trenches. I know how to actually optimize these systems so that the setter, they know how to dial, and they know how to dial quick, right? Because speed to lead is really the most important in the sales game. We want to make sure, right, as you guys can see in this graph, after 5 minutes, there's an 8x decrease in the contact rate and you being able to contact your leads, right? So we don't want that to happen, okay? And we want to make sure there's speed to lead. And in order to have speed to lead, not only do you have to optimize your CRM, right, either GHL or Close, you also have to have a solid sales team channel. So I built him a whole sales team on Discord channel where there's absolutely complete, all the automations that you need from Zapier to make sure that every call is being booked, and the closer and the setter, they have, complete transparency on every single lead to make sure that, nothing is being lost. We also track the sales KPI. So as you can see, I built him a whole dashboard, as you can see right here: close rates, show rates, revenues, cash collected. And also we have a tracker so that every single stat for every single rep, everything's tracked, right? From availability, booked, showed, canceled, no shows, offers, close rates, show rates, so that we can actually scale, right? The ad spend with confidence, or at least your numbers, okay? And also to make sure that every single sales rep is performing at or above their KPIs, right? This is all very important to implement, And this will easily just, double or even, double your coaching business in just like 30 days just by having all of these optimized, your sales systems. Now, second thing is done for you sales process and also team management. So this is the post-booking process, right? And the reason it's so important, having an important, having a solid post-booking process is, right, I'm going to show you guys. So when people schedule a call with you, right, and they have this time frame between their schedule, from the time they schedule to their actual sales call, this window is called pre-selling window. This is where you have to pre-sell the lead on your offer, on who you are, right, on your product, on your business, and your product. So what we want to do is just hammer them with emails, and also text, right? We are not bombarding them. No, we're not. Okay. When people book a call with you, they want to learn more about what you do, right? So what we're trying to do here with these emails and texts is we're trying to answer as many questions and as many texts as possible. Because think about this, when people hop on a call or they saw your ad or they saw your content and they book a call, they're booking call not because they're ready to buy, right? They're booking call because they need their questions answered, right? They want to know this, they want to know that, they want to know X, Y, and Z. Okay. So by sending as many emails and texts, we're just handling those questions already before your sales call. Okay. So that 80% of the work here is done by your marketing, the selling, while the 20% of work and the closing is actually done by the sales call. So here is basically the difference between organic and paid ads. Organic, I would say maybe like 70 or 60% of your calls could be just sold already, or they're strongly convicted. Okay. So there's really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels. So they can either be sold, strongly convicted in your offer, they're interested, they're curious, they want more info. As for paid ads, right, you're going to be hovering within your clients and your leads are wanting more info and they're just curious about your offer. So what we're doing with this pre-selling window with these trust assets is we're trying to raise the bar up to the sold. Okay. And we do this through having a solid post-booking process. Okay. So I can show you that right now. There's a whole video I filmed on my YouTube channel breaking down this whole process. But basically, from the second they book in a call to when they're having the sales call, we have all of these resources and trust assets and reminders and and everything on these trust assets to make sure that we warm them up as much as possible and that your leads, they know, they like, and they trust you, right? So with these 3 key things, this is how people turn from strangers to high ticket clients. And of course, when they don't book, we have a lot of automations and backend and follow-up processes for a setter to dial. We have voice notes being sent out. We have daily emails, a 5-day sequence. And if they still don't book, they have a 30-day email value sequence. There's everything on the back end that I also built for Ryan to make sure that, every single lead, we're just juicing, I guess, cash from every single lead that we have, okay, from the ads. Now, I also optimize this funnel, make it look nice and tidy and handsome. As you can see, guys, right here, this is the actual landing page that we have right now. Way before this, it was not like this. And basically, I just followed the 100K per month call funnel, the best practices, right? We have a strong VSL. This is hosted on Vitalytics, by the way, if you guys want to know. And then straight under it, because we don't want so much distractions. That's the whole idea of this. We want as less distractions, as less friction as possible to them booking a call with you guys. So steps you can see right below the VSL, they can already apply, right? They have an application page. And the reason we want an application page and not just direct to Calendly is because there are people that drop off. Like when they fill out this application, there are people that drop off and they don't book. So these can be hit up by our setters or our closers to get them back on the calendar, and then they book a sales call. Okay. So this is why we separated. So before he had a calendar, just a calendar page with the questions, and we really don't know whether people drop off there or not. Okay. So by having this application, we know that. This is, of course, the outcome of this is to just make sure that no money's being leaked. Third thing is the sales team culture, right? I've been a sales manager, I've been a high ticket closer, I've been in a high ticket sales space for 1.5+ years, right? So I know how to actually build a strong team culture for your team so that everyone is motivated on the team, everyone's consistent and putting in their inputs and really just grinding hard for your offer. So as you can see, every now and then I really just hype up the team right now, right? And you can see right here. So that's really important, okay? And last, because yeah, at the end of the day, like all these sales reps, they're not just reps, right? These are all people. They all have lives. They all have goals and missions. And you want to make sure that you really just take care of them. And that's something that a lot of people don't do, especially growth operators. Now, last step here is sales trust assets. So as you can see right here, what I asked Ryan to do is basically post some videos on his YouTube. He doesn't even post that much, right? He has literally 5 videos or 4 active videos since when we started working together, and we still scaled to 82K. So yeah, that's that. Now, after the done for you sales process and, sales management, really we just, all there's left to do, right? From, optimizing these 2 things, it's just ads, right? It's just scaling with ads. But I want to say, right, before we started with ads, we still hit 82K without the Instagram ads that I implemented for them. Now that we implemented these Instagram ads, we're going to easily scale past 100K per month. And we're aiming for that in September and October. So I started making these creatives for him, basically a very direct to offer. Guys, by the way, with Instagram ads, it really depends on your offer. Okay. So I made these direct to offer, very direct because of his audience, direct to offer. We spent about $100 per day. We got a 25x ROAS on the second day of running this campaign. So as you can see, we started launching these Instagram ads. Very simple. These are stories, it's like 8-second video ads, right? It's just like a background video with some music, background music, and then just text. And I made these on Instagram, by the way. Okay, so on the 19th, we started launching these ads. We immediately got a lead, and our DM setter started doing his thing. Then we booked the call for, I think, the 25th or something. And then we nurtured them. We nurtured her with sales assets from our YouTube, podcast, and also directly to his Instagram page so that we can build more know, like, and trust. They actually no-showed the call, and then they were rebooked by our setter because he's a savage. And then about 8 days later, they closed for 5K. Okay, as you can see right here. So with $200 spent, we literally got a 5K in return. And this wasn't just one time, by the way. We are still consistently doing this. And I think we closed like 10K in the past week. I can show the recording, but I think you guys got enough proof. But yeah, that's basically how we hit 82K, and we're about to hit 100K and even past 100K with Ryan. So that's really what I would do for your guys' coaching offer as well if we were to work together. And guys, if you watch through this entire video and you want me to just potentially have a look at your offer, see how I can help you, the first link is down in the description. Book a call down below, and I promise you, you'll leave the call with a lot more value than you began with.